What's up, everybody? This is Bree from Young, Safe, and Free, and I'm back with this week's Tuesday Talk. And this week, we are going to be talking about the state of the Black family. So, as you can see, I'm in a different setting. Usually, I'm in my bedroom, but today, I'm in the living room at my parents' house. And as you can see, there are a lot of pictures around me. There's actually pictures all the way around the room. So, that picture right there is the painting right here is a painting of my mom. She got done in Korea. For those who don't know, both my parents are in the military. This picture right here is actually my great grandmother on my mom's side. That's my grandmother's mom, and that's her on her wedding day. This is a picture of my mom and her siblings and a few of our cousins back in, I think it's in St. Pete, or it might be in Cordell. I can't remember. This is my dad's mom and her father here. That is me, my mom, my dad, and my baby sister. This picture right here, the shawty in the red, that's my sister. That's a painting of my parents on, I don't think it was their wedding day. They went to the courthouse, but I'm not sure if this was their actual wedding day or not. But yeah, that's them. That's a painting they got. All these paintings that are in here, they were made in Korea when my parents were stationed in Korea. So, like I said, I'm going to be coming with you all talking about the state of the Black family. And this was inspired, honestly, by the most recent episode of Braxton Family Values. Now, I don't watch Braxton Family Values as much as I used to. But I decided to watch this last episode just to catch up, because I've been watching, pretty consistently this season. I always start off consistent, and then I just fall off with that show. And I don't want you to think it's going to be a TV review, because that's not what it is. But there's something, they're a family just like everybody else, and they go through things just like everybody else does. But this particular episode brought light to so much to me, especially, when you're going through things with your own family. And I'm not saying I'm going through the exact same thing, but we've had our issues in the past. So, and I think, where should I start? I guess I will start with just families in general. I think for a long time, even in my own family, I think this is just what any Black family, period, what happens at home stays at home, and that is a good thing and a bad thing. What happens at home shouldn't be broadcasted to the world. However, if I gotta go talk to somebody to get my issues worked out, then at that point it's not staying at home anymore. You see what I'm saying? Like, if I gotta go talk to a therapist about whatever is happening in our household, then I'm gonna do that. And I think for a long time, families, they sweep stuff under the rug and they just don't talk about it. And I'm like, you can't keep loading up stuff and then thinking that everything's gonna be okay. Something's gonna break. Something's gonna be the straw that breaks the camel's back at some point. Something has got to give. It's not fair for those involved for you just to act like it didn't happen, because it definitely happened and it's affecting somebody. One of the main issues that I would definitely have to say is that everybody wants to be so perfect. Like, all these pictures that are around me, everything is not picture perfect, okay? Like, it's not. We're all people. We all go through things. Families go through things. And I think that idea of what happens at home stays at home tries to maintain that picture perfect image, and it's not. It's not realistic. And I think the thing with this generation, everyone is so bold. Everyone wants to put it all out there. And the past generations, they're not okay with that. And it's like, because back in the day you ain't talk about that kind of stuff, and that idea has been passed down through generations. But it's like something with this generation, they're like, no, nope, I'm gonna tell it all. And it's like, to me, I feel like this generation is very relentless in how they approach life. Everything is not necessarily about right now, but it's about doing what's best. What you think is the best thing to do. I think that fear of judgment is the leading cause of what is really going on in black families right now. Like, you don't have to be afraid of people thinking whatever, because I can guarantee you that they are going through something as well. They're not just gliding through life. That's just not how life happens. And if they are, maybe but that's something that I think that a lot of black families do, and it's a very toxic trait. That's how you end up with people that's like going crazy, and people that wants to kill themselves, and all these other things that's going on. And it's like, it didn't have to be that way. It really didn't. It didn't have to go down like that at all. And I'm not going to tell that. But if you look at your family, you can see a lot of the hurt and a lot of the things that people have gone through with how they react and how they interact with others. You can just see it, and it's really unhealthy. And one of the tripping. And one of the things that I noticed watching Braxton Family Values is Tracy. Now, everybody thinks Tamar is the problem. Tamar has her own issues, but Tamar is also the baby. There are things that they have allowed her to do over her 40-something years living that they just never addressed until she got older. And by that point, it was like, what's the point? Because y'all been letting her do this, and now it looks crazy when you're coming at her sideways about it. You've been letting her do it. But with Tracy, I think Tracy is one of the, I'm not going to say she's a problem child per se, but Tracy's been through a lot when it comes to that family. And Tracy spazzes all the time. And it's like, when it came to their deal after Tony got signed for like the Braxtons, the group, Tracy got left out. And so every time something happens, Tracy will shit, like even with the conversation that they had on the episode, she kept saying, I'm not family. I'm one of the guys today. I'm not family. They don't care about what I think anyway. She kept saying that because they, even though they have talked about this issue before, I don't think that they talked about it in the depth that she wanted to talk about it. And my thing is, you can't hurt somebody and then only do so much for their healing. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though they didn't intentionally hurt her, what they did was hurtful to her. And it's not fair for y'all to be like, oh my God, just get over it already. Like, granted, it's been like 30 years, so she kind of needs to let it go. But even after that, there were things that happened that it was like, like they took the Band-Aid off and kept taking the Band-Aid off and keep ripping it off and keep ripping it off and different things that they were doing. They weren't including her in some things. They weren't, just that feeling of not being included will make you go back to the place where you first felt that. That's why it keeps coming up. And if you've ever looked at someone that always goes back to, we and her had this issue back in kindergarten, me and her had this issue back in 8th grade, blah blah blah, like they will go to stuff that happened years ago. It's because something that person is doing to them, not necessarily saying it's a big thing, it reminds them of that issue over and over and over, and it doesn't really give them a chance to heal. So sometimes you have to take time away to deal with that issue, because what's really, honestly, I don't know if this is like this in every black family, but in my family, it's going to be rare that you get an apology for something that happened. It's just fact that it's just how our family operates. We move on like nothing happened. And sometimes you just don't get the apology that you think you deserve. Or sometimes things just don't restore themselves the way that you want them to. And you got to deal with that. You have to deal with that. And sometimes it means taking a break away from them to understand what's really going on, and understand that even for Tracy, like Tracy's example, she doesn't feel validated or acknowledged by her sisters. she has to learn to be okay, and to be okay with not being validated by them, but knowing that she's still dope no matter what people say, knowing that she still got it no matter what anybody says. Like, there's something, it's like self-validation. She needs to develop that. And granted, she might not be successful in this area of her life where everybody else was successful, but she has to find her lane. And I think that's another thing with families. They feel like they all have to do the same thing. Like, I remember when I was in high school, it was either I was going to be a nurse, which I don't even like going to the doctor. I hate everything medical. I'm going to be a nurse, or I'm going to go into the military. I didn't want to go into the military either. Like, I didn't. It just didn't. It didn't appease me, like, at all. Like, it just was not. It didn't appeal to me at all. Like, no. But I felt like those were my only options because everyone on both sides of my family are either military or in the medical field, and that's just not something that I'm interested in. But I feel sometimes it's like you feel pressure to go into that direction because that's where everybody else is going. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be, do things on your own. And I guess the bigger issue that I had, besides whatever was going on, I guess we could talk about Tamar. We all have a Tamar in our family. One that is very spoiled, one that has gotten their way the entire time, one that has to be the center of attention all the time. We all have one, and it's okay. That's their role. But I think that the issue is that they've given Tamar so much attention growing up and even, in adulthood, that she feels like she's supposed to have all the attention all the time. But I do feel like there is some valid points behind her feelings in this particular episode. Am I happy for Trina? Yes, I am happy that she got engaged. However, I don't think that was the time or the place to do that. That was not a family trip. That was a Tamar's birthday trip situation. That's like somebody coming to your wedding and proposing at your wedding, or somebody water breaking at your baby shower, or something. Like, that's what it's like. Speaking of, I had this conversation with my sister the other day. Harper, or the best man, I feel like he deserved every bruise that Lance gave him. But I feel like the fight was misplaced. To me, the fight should have happened after the book thing in Best Man Holiday. I know this seems kind of crazy, but just hear me out. Just hear me out. So, Harper was the best man. He became the best man knowing that he had slept with the bride-to-be. Then he wrote a book about how he slept with her. Then, on top of that, he proposed to his girlfriend at their wedding. Then he came back to the house for Christmas that year, and then decided to sneak Lance and his wife for secrets to write another book. Then, when the wife died and they had the funeral and the repast, his wife's water broke at the funeral. At the repast. Like, everything that was going on in Lance's life was about Harper, and I feel like that deserved a beat down. Like, I'm sorry, but anyway, sorry about that, y'all. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so that moment was about Tamar. So I think it's very valid for her to feel the way that she felt about Trina. Do I think she overreacted? Yes, but there's some validity in her feelings. But just in general, I think the representation of the black family in the media needs to be adjusted. It's 2019 and I don't think I've seen a positive black family like that on TV except for Blackish, and I don't even watch Blackish, to be honest. Yeah, it's just everything is dysfunctional on TV right now. And I was born in 92, so back then Cosby Show was on, Fresh Prince was on. Does Martin count as a family show? Martin doesn't really count as a family show. Living Single was on, like Family Matters. All of that was on TV, and it was a great representation. Like now everything is love and hip hop. Something revolving around some kind of musical artist. Everything is about some kind of musical artist. I don't like the Cosby Show. There was a doctor and a lawyer. Like you don't see that on TV like that anymore without there being some kind of controversy. Because even like Married to Medicine. What is that show that's in Charlotte? That's on. It's I forget. I think it's The Have and to Hold or something like that. That show was so dysfunctional. Like I feel like there's not a realistic representation of families. And it's the problem is that mom and daddy and whoever, they're not together anymore. And when they go at it, the kids know, but they never see how they resolve those issues. So they grow up feeling like they can spaz out on whoever, and that, that's what's on TV. They do that too. So it's like there's no kind of social responsibility for anything. Like it's everything is being so overlooked. And I think that the healthiest representation of a black family is, or how to heal a black family, is Iyanla. Like I know that sounds really stereotypical, but it's true. Iyanla, the reason why I respect Iyanla, because she makes them talk about things that they wouldn't talk about on a normal day. They just wouldn't talk about it. And she understands that you can't just disregard any of those feelings, because those feelings are there and they are valid. You can't just act like they're not there, because they are definitely going to be there. But what are y'all thoughts on the black family? Because maybe it's just me that feels that way, and I could have been wrong as 2 left feet, but let me know what y'all thoughts are, and we can talk about it in the comments. So I will see you all in the next video, and I have a surprise for y'all. It's not big, but it's a surprise nonetheless. And I will see you all in the next video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I love you guys, and thanks so much for watching.